Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Archie Luper here with Leadership in a Minute. Excited about the session today because I want to talk more about business coaching and most importantly, to understand what it is that each of the members of your team need from you in the area of coaching. Now, for us to go through this particular episode, this session today, you are going to need to have a blank piece of paper. So go ahead and just pause the video for a minute, get you a blank piece of paper. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to draw two lines and draw it this way. Again, from the left, you'll have a vertical line coming down the most of the page on the left with a horizontal line going across, okay? Left side of your page, vertical line going down, horizontal line going across. And then in the middle of that graph, we're going to put a graph together. I want you to draw another line, just kind of maybe even a dotted line down the middle of it, vertically, and then go back and put a horizontal line with dotted lines going across the middle horizontally. What you're doing is taking that graph and breaking it into 4 quadrants. And here's something else I want you to write now on your graph. At the bottom, I want you to write the word attitude. Write the word attitude at the bottom. And in addition to that, I want you to write the numbers 1 through 5, with 1 being nearest the intersection of the 2 lines there, 3 being midway under the word attitude, and 5 going out to the end. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a scale at the bottom of attitude. Do the same on the vertical line. Write the word skills now instead of attitude. Vertical line, write the word skills on the vertical line, and then go back and write the numbers 1 through 5 with 1 at the bottom of the intersection, 3 being midway on skills, and 5 being high. So once you have that graph together, here's what I want you to do. At the bottom of the page or at the top of the page, wherever you have a little bit of white space, I want you to write down the names of maybe 6 or 8 people that you lead. If you have a large number of people on your team, 20, 30 people on your team, just choose 6 or 8 of a blend of different people, different skill levels on your team. So go ahead and take a minute to write those names down. Go ahead and pause the video for a moment until you get those names written down. Welcome back. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take that first name on your list, go down to your graph, and number 1, I want you to think about their attitude. Where is their attitude from 1 to 5, 1 being low, not a very good attitude, midway number 3, pretty good attitude, number 4, great attitude, number 5. Do that on your graph. Don't write anything yet, but go ahead and number 1, think about where their attitude is. Stop there, and then immediately go up from there and think about their level of skill and write in their initial. Now let's go ahead and do that on everybody on your list. Number 1, think about where's their attitude at, 1 being a low attitude, 5 being a really good attitude. Think about their attitude, stop for a moment, and then go up and think about their level of skill. Weak on the skills, number 1, average skills, number 3, really good skills, productivity, performance, number 5, and then write in their initial. Go ahead and now do that for everybody on your list. Welcome back. You should have what I am showing now on the screen with initials now around your screen. Now let's go back and talk about each of these quadrants. Number 1, if you have someone in the lower left, this is probably the most challenging people on your team, because again, if you're rating them, low on the attitude, low on the skills, this is probably the challenging people that need the most coaching on your team. But I want you to write in the word in that quadrant, counseling. Counseling is going to be needed, and in an upcoming episode, I'll talk more about what does it look like when you do counseling to turn around maybe attitudes or skill set or up-level someone in their ability on your team. But the first quadrant, that group is going to need counseling from you. Number 2, in the top left quadrant, if you have someone in the top left quadrant, in fact, let me give you my advice. For someone in the top left quadrant, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Because again, if you're telling me they're lower on the attitude, but a high level of skills and performance and productivity, in many cases, they may not be the person doing what you want to be done interpersonally, getting along with others. Now, let me qualify what I'm saying. If they're impacting the team in a negative way, you will need to talk to them about that. And that's why I want you to put the label up there, one-on-one. One-on-one. But if they're doing great work and doing great output, can I just tell you, encourage you, just leave them alone. Not everybody's interpersonal like others and building relationships and the life of the party. Some just want to work alone and do their job. You know, I've talked to several leaders over the years, and many times when they have someone in the top left quadrant, many times they've let them go because they were just frustrated by their attitude. And so I asked them, how's it working out for you? And in most cases, they'll tell me, well, not very good. It took 2 or 3 people to replace the work that they were doing. That's what I'm talking about. In most cases, just commend them, give them a high five, recognize them for the good work they're doing, leave them alone, let them do their job. But again, if they're impacting the team in a negative way, then we need to do some one-on-ones and say, hey, I need some changes. I need some traction in these particular areas of your attitude. Now, bottom right quadrant. If you have someone bottom right quadrant, very simple. This is training and development. Because if you're telling me they're doing great on their attitude, but lower on the skills, very simply training and development. Get them into courses, get them in the type of training that they need to get their skill level up. Now, final quadrant, top right quadrant. If you've got people, hopefully you do have initials in the top right quadrant. Can I give you my advice for that group? Don't burn them out. Don't burn them out. Because in most cases, aren't these your rock stars? Aren't these your best performers on your team? And in many cases, they may be the ones, 20% of your group doing 80% of the work in many cases. But don't continue to add on and pour on to the point that you burn them out and all of a sudden you get a 2-week notice and you think, where did this come from? Well, it's work-life balance that, you've started to interfere with. So instead of that, here's the label I want you to put up there, mentoring and empowerment. Give them an opportunity to begin to mentor the other people on your team and empower others to maybe do some of the work projects they're working on that will open them up to additional, more higher quality projects you want them to work on and continue to impact your team, continue to impact your company in a major way. So those are the 4 categories. That will tell you. Quadrant all your team members. That'll give you an idea of what they specifically need from you in the area of coaching. And I'll be back. We'll talk more about that in other episodes. Hey, in the meantime, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to my channel. Look for an opportunity not only to coach, but make a difference in someone's life this week.